The message arrived at 1:17 in the morning. Not a call, not a knock on the door, just 3 words on my phone screen. You deserve truth. That was it. No name, no explanation. Just those 3 words glowing in the dark like they had been waiting for me. For a moment I thought it was spam, a wrong number, one of those strange messages people send when they are drunk or bored. So I locked my phone and placed it back on the table. But sleep never came back, because something about those words kept pressing on my chest. You deserve truth. The kind of sentence that doesn't disappear easily. The kind that makes your mind start asking questions you never planned to ask. I sat up in the living room and looked around the quiet house. My wife had gone to bed hours earlier. At least, that's what she said. The house was silent. Too silent. For the past few weeks, something in our marriage had felt different. Not loud arguments. Not the kind of fights neighbors hear through the walls. Just distance. The quiet kind. The kind that slowly creeps into conversations. She still smiled. She still cooked dinner. She still asked how my day went. But something behind her eyes felt guarded, like a door that used to be open had quietly been closed. I told myself it was stress. Work had been hard for both of us. Bills had stretched our budget thin. Life does that sometimes. Marriage goes through seasons. That's what everyone says. But deep down, there was a whisper I kept ignoring. And that whisper returned when my phone vibrated again. 5 minutes later. Another message. This time it wasn't words. It was a photo. My hands began to shake before I even opened it, because deep down, something in my heart already knew this night was not random. When the image finally loaded, my stomach dropped. It was my wife, standing in the parking lot of a hotel. The photo looked like it had been taken from inside a car across the street. Dim street lights, neon hotel sign glowing behind her. And beside her was a man I had never seen before. They weren't holding hands. They weren't kissing. But they stood close. Too close. The kind of closeness that makes your mind start filling in the blanks. My chest tightened. I stared at the image again. Zoomed in. Studied every shadow. Trying to find something, anything, that would explain it. But nothing did. For nearly 30 minutes I sat there staring at my phone. Every possible thought running through my head. Anger. Fear. Confusion. But mostly disbelief. Because the woman in that photo was not just my wife. She was the person I had trusted more than anyone in the world. And now suddenly nothing felt certain anymore. I thought about waking her up, walking into the bedroom, throwing the phone on the bed and demanding answers. But something stopped me. Instead, I did something I had not done in years. I prayed. Not the kind of prayer people say in church. Not polished. Not religious. Just the kind that comes out when your heart feels like it's breaking. God, if there is truth I need to see, show me. The words felt small, but they were honest. Eventually exhaustion pulled me to sleep on the couch. Morning arrived quietly. Sunlight spilled through the kitchen window as I poured coffee. And just as I was trying to convince myself that maybe the photo meant nothing, my wife walked into the room smiling. A soft smile. The kind she used when she had good news. Then she said the words that should have made me the happiest man alive. I'm pregnant. For a moment, everything stopped. The photo, the message, the suspicion, all of it disappeared behind those 2 words. Pregnant. My mind tried to hold both emotions at the same time. Joy and doubt. I hugged her. I smiled. But somewhere deep inside, that photo still sat in the back of my mind like a shadow. 3 days later, Sunday arrived. And we went to church like we always did. I still hadn't told her about the messages. I hadn't told anyone. I just kept repeating the same prayer in my mind. God, show me the truth. The service started normally. Worship songs. Prayer. The pastor greeting the congregation. But halfway through his sermon, something unusual happened. He stopped speaking, right in the middle of his sentence. The room became quiet. Then he slowly scanned the congregation, his eyes moving from row to row, until finally he said something that made my heart start pounding. There is a man here today, asking God for truth. My hands froze on the back of the chair in front of me. My wife glanced at me. The pastor continued, and God says the answer you are afraid of is not the answer you will receive. The room went silent. You could hear people shifting in their seats. Then something even stranger happened. The pastor stepped down from the pulpit and began walking down the aisle, straight toward our row. My stomach twisted. Each step felt heavier than the last. When he reached us, he stopped. He didn't look at my wife. He looked directly at me. Then he spoke quietly, but the entire church could hear. God says the child your wife carries is yours. The air rushed out of my lungs. Relief hit me so suddenly it felt like dizziness. But the pastor wasn't finished. He turned toward my wife. His voice softened. You have been carrying guilt for something that never happened. My wife burst into tears immediately. Real tears. The kind that come from months of fear. The pastor continued gently. The man in the photo was your brother. My head snapped toward her. What? She was crying now, trying to speak through the emotion. My brother came back into my life after 15 years, she said. I didn't know how to explain it to you, and I was afraid you would misunderstand. The pastor nodded slowly. The enemy sent that message to destroy your marriage before the blessing arrived. And suddenly, everything made sense. The photo, the distance, the fear in her eyes, all of it had been built on a lie. A lie designed to destroy trust. I reached for her hands. They were trembling. And right there in the middle of the church, we both started crying. Not because something was broken, but because something had just been saved. Later that afternoon, we tried to trace the number that sent the message. The phone company checked their system. The result made no sense. The number did not exist. No account. No registration. No digital record. It was as if the message had appeared and disappeared. To this day, I still cannot explain who sent it. But I know one thing. What was meant to destroy our marriage became the moment God strengthened it. Months later, our son was born. And as I held him in my arms for the first time, I remembered the pastor's words. The answer is not what you fear. Sometimes the truth we are most afraid of is actually the miracle God is protecting. If this story touched you, comment. God reveals truth. And subscribe for more untold faith stories that remind us. Faith can turn even our darkest suspicions into powerful testimonies.